Alright folks, I'm here with my L3301 Kubota tractor and it won't start. I turn the key, nothing happens. And I tried everything. I checked the battery, I cleaned the connectors on the battery, post, everything, and it just won't start. I tried pushing in the clutch, which I normally don't do, to start it. That didn't work. Thought maybe it might be a seat switch or something, but normally I don't need to be sitting on it to start it. So at any rate, let me show you what I figured out. Now I'm going to move my hand back here and I'm going to fix this to where it's going to start. Let me show you what I did. Alright, we're going to flip the seat up so that you can get a good look at this. This is my PTO switch. So if I've got an attachment on the back of it, like right now I got a Bush Hog on it, and I'm using the PTO, I need to engage that so the PTO turns on. If I've got a backhoe, I don't ever have to mess with this, which is one of the reasons it took me a while to figure this out, because I had a backhoe on it for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, and when I finally put the Bush Hog on it, that's when I figured out that this was my problem. Let me show you how I'm going to fix that. Alright, so if I look back over here, I can see there's this tiny little switch here. And when this is back, this plunger, this bracket right here, is supposed to connect to that switch and make a connection there. When I pull this back, it's supposed to depress that, make contact, and send that signal down here that I don't have my PTO engaged when I try to start the tractor, because that could be bad. So when I push this back a little bit, it makes contact, but otherwise it don't. So what I need to do is, there's a Phillips head screw right there. I need to loosen that up, rotate this switch around to where when I pull this back it makes good contact, and that should fix my problem. Alright, so I got my screwdriver here, and I can't get it in there because of this. So wouldn't you know it, I'm going to have to go get me a wrench, loosen that so I can rotate that up out of the way. Alright, screwdriver fit in there now. Loosen that up a little bit. I don't know why that's not wanting to rotate. Alright, well there's a mystery we got to solve. There we go. I think the lever was just keeping it from rotating. So I'm just going to rotate this forward a little bit. Kind of get an eyeball of where it would normally sit and move it forward just a couple degrees. Tighten this back down. We'll do it the German way. We'll get it good and tight. I'm holding it in place with my finger back here, because otherwise, you know, it's going to rotate forward. So just a couple degrees forward. Hold it with my finger and tighten. All right. And now when I put it forward, it just breaks. Well, I wasn't anticipating that happening. So the next thing is to take this off. I'll put a bread tie on it and just tie it closed. That's going to bypass my safety feature, which is going to make this dangerous. But let me run until I get a new switch ordered. I'll put the link below on how to order a switch, and it'll just be a matter of taking this old one off, unplugging it right here, plugging the new one in, and adjusting it like I was going to before the little lever spring arm thing just popped right off. My videos are always an adventure. Nothing ever works out the way I plan it to. I'm going to put this screw back in the hole so that way I don't lose it. Because if I set it somewhere, I'll lose it, or it If I put it on the tractor, it'll vibrate out. I could probably try to look for that arm and see if I could fix it. I dropped it in the grass. Odds of me finding it, I'm not too sure real good. But I might take a quick look. I'm going to tighten the screw up because if I leave it loose, again, it'll vibrate out. There we go. Alright, so until I get a new switch or can find the metal arm on this and fix this one, if I need to move this tractor, all I got to do is just push this switch in. There's a little knob right here. Just push that in, hold that with one hand, and crank the key and it'll start right up. And then you can move it. Now once it's started, you can let go of that and it'll keep running. But again, if you got this problem with this switch, just hold that in like that, start it right up. Alright, so I ordered me some micro switches. I couldn't buy just, well, it wasn't economical to buy just one, so I bought this whole bag. I'll put the link below for what these are, so you can order them if you want to. At any rate, they're not an exact match, but they're about the right size. So we're going to take this bad one here off and replace it with this and see if we can get it adjusted to where it works. So we're just going to do field repair. I'm going to cut these wires here, strip them back, put the wires through. These things have little holes in them, and I can solder this on later. But for right now, we'll just put the wires through these little holes, twist them, and then get it working. Now, this has three prongs on it, which means depending on which way I do it, this is either wired to where it's connected and it's on, and then the switch goes down and it turns it off, or it's wired to where it's off, and when the switch goes down, it makes a connection and then it's on. Alright, not sure if you can make this out. I think the camera's gonna, before it gets close enough, it might get a little bit too blurry, but this has markings on this switch, and then there's a marking that says NC, NO, and then I think the other one just says G or C. Yeah, and then this last one over here just says C. So I'm assuming what this means is C is for common. NC on this side stands for normally connected, and NO would be normally open. So I'm going to connect between this common and the NO, normally open, so that when it makes connection, it's going to close the connection between these two. Now, since this is just making a connection, it's just a connection switch, it doesn't matter which wires I hook to which post. Either way, it's going to work. It's just making a connection. All it's doing is taking, all the switch is doing is taking and shorting these two together. So it doesn't matter, there is no polarity with this switch. But just because I'm anal retentive, I'll put the black on common. Again, I can twist these later, or probably just hit them with a little bit of solder. Make sure they stay, because tractors do vibrate. Alright, so now that I got those through there, I'm going to take it and put it where it needs to be and see if I can adjust it to where this will work. Alright, so I want this switch to point this way. And I've got two holes, so I think I'm going to use this bottom hole. Now this hole is just a little tight. I wouldn't want to drill it out because I might damage the inner workings of it. But it looks like I can. It's big enough to where I can thread that screw through there. So that's what we're going to do. But because it's tight, that means I can't just run it through and then tap the hole, because otherwise it's going to not want to be quite right. So I want to start putting this through the hole in the tractor as soon as it starts coming out the other side of this switch. Alright, it's just starting to come out. Alright, so it's in there. It's not tight yet. So I want it to be closed when this is in this position. Alright, so that took a little bit of adjusting, because if I moved it too far, I rotated the switch too far forward, it actually came down underneath there. But got it to where when it comes back this way, probably can't hear it, but I can hear that switch click, which tells me it's turning, it's activating when this is in this position. And then of course when I move it forward, it's free to spring forward and move the connection. So I'm going to hook this up, see if it starts, see if it works. Alright, so first I'm going to move this forward like the PTO was on and see if it'll start. And it does not. Move it back. And it still don't start. Alright, you gotta remember to connect your connector back up. Alright, so we're gonna move this forward like the PTO was on and see if it starts. And it does not. So now we're going to move it back like the PTO was off. Ta-da!